What's going on, gents? Welcome to the Fit Man Style channel. My name is Ian. So here's the deal. If you're in the market for a suit, blazer, sport coat, and you walk into these stores, what you will find on the racks, you'll find more modern, trendy kind of fits, which may not be suitable for guys like you and I, the Fit Man. Quite honestly, a lot of these stores simply don't cater to men of our physique. And if you're like me, you've discovered some things through trial and error. And that's what this video is about. Through my personal trial and error, I've discovered at least 5 things about a suit jacket, a blazer, a sport coat that could overall enhance your appearance and complement your physique. So before you pull the trigger on either one of those 3 things, a suit jacket, a blazer, or a sport coat, hear me out. The first part of a jacket to pay attention to are the sleeves. Yes, the sleeve length is important, but what I'm referring to is the sleeve width, because that's where your biceps are going to be in. Now, my biceps are one of my best features, and I know this is a problem because anytime I wear a jacket, this happens. It becomes really tight. There's these streak of lines that really dig into my skin and makes it very uncomfortable. It restricts my movement. And I've seen a lot of fit guys wear jackets that is just so obvious that the sleeves are just too tight on their biceps. They try to play it off like it's cool, but I can feel their pain. It's very uncomfortable. A solution to that is, if you have a really skilled tailor, they might be able to do something about that. But my best bet is to go up a size. It may give you more room on your biceps. You may have to alter parts of the jacket to fit your physique, but at least you will have comfortability and a little bit of drape on your arms. Second thing to be mindful of are the shoulders. Gone are the 70s and the 80s where back then the suits, sport coats, blazers, they had super padded shoulders. You don't really see that a lot these days, even though you will find some suits nowadays that have some padding in them. The problem with that is if your traps are already big or you have decent sized delts, having a padded shoulder on your suit, blazer, or sport coat, it would just further exaggerate that, which would just make you look out of proportion. Solution is to go for a soft shoulder, one that has little to no padding. And you can do that by just simply touching it. So you want something that can just naturally cover your shoulders and fall naturally on your shoulders and not exaggerate it. Now, the third thing to pay attention to can be a little bit tricky because it depends on your height, it depends on your physique, your body shape, it depends on the ratio of your torso to your legs, which one is longer, which one is shorter. And this third thing is the button stance and the position of the button, which is the one that you typically button up, the top one, also known as the waist button. Now, your typical off-the-rack suit, jacket, sport coat, blazer, it has a much higher button stance. That may work for some people, but it doesn't work for everybody, and definitely doesn't work for me. My torso is a little bit shorter than my legs, and as I mentioned with the shoulders, having padded shoulders, it would just further exaggerate what you already have. And that's the thing with clothing, especially for us fit men. You want clothes to not exaggerate what you already have, but to complement it. If I was to wear a suit jacket or a sport coat blazer with a higher button stance, it would further exaggerate how long my legs are. So for me, I go with a much more lower button stance. Now that lower button stance, it creates a deeper V shape. Now what have I mentioned about V-shape anything on this channel? Be it a V-neck shirt, a V-neck sweater, that V shape draws attention upwards. So it would create the perception of a larger chest and broader shoulders. In my case, I already have a large chest and broad shoulders, so it would just complement it. And another thing about the lower stance of the button is it will fall on my natural waistline, which is also where I would wear my high-waisted pants. So you see everything is starting to come together. High-waisted pants, lower button stance on my suit jacket or my sport coat blazer. And with that, it would have a continuity of my jacket down to my pants. And you won't see any kind of breaks of a belt or some odd gap between the button and my pants, and you see my shirt poking through. Fourth thing to look at is the width of your lapels. These modern day off the rack suits tend to come with a much narrower width on their lapels, which works for some people, but not everybody. Definitely doesn't work for a guy like me who has a broad chest. You want your lapels to be proportional to your chest. So for me, I tend to fall between 3 to say 3 3/4 long width on my lapels. Now, if you have a much more smaller frame than I do, that probably doesn't work for you. You want to go with a much more smaller width on the lapels, 2.5, 2 3/4. And so you want your lapels to be proportional to your chest size. That's important. Another reason why it's important is it balances your face. It makes your face look normal and not too big or too small. If you have a much more smaller frame and you're wearing a wide lapel on your jackets, it would just give you the perception that you have a smaller head. Conversely, there's a guy that I watch on ESPN. He's a big dude. He's bigger than me, big chest. But the suits that he wears have very small lapels, very thin, and it just makes his head look really big. So that's something you got to keep in mind, is the width of the lapels. All right, so you have the sleeves right, you have the shoulders right, you have the button stands right, you have the width of the lapels right. All of that is great, but it wouldn't mean anything if you have the actual length of the jacket wrong. And that's the fifth thing you got to pay attention to, the length of the jacket. Now, how do you figure out the right length for you? Very simple. Relax your hands by your side, and if you can ball up a fist and grip the bottom of the jacket, then it's the right fit for you. But if you can't grip the bottom of the jacket, be it that it's too long for you to reach the bottom of it, or it's too short for you to reach the bottom of it, then it is not at a proper length for you. So the fifth thing to pay attention to is the length of the jacket. Now, those are the 5 things to pay attention to when buying a suit jacket, blazer, a sport coat. But as I was talking, I remembered 2 more things that I want to include here as honorable mentions. Might as well be 7 things to look for in a jacket. One of these things I really don't see a lot of people talking about, but it makes a huge difference in your overall comfortability and mobility in the jacket. And that is the position of the armhole. Off-the-rack jackets tend to come with a lower armhole. This is because, as I mentioned, off-the-rack anything is made with a one-size-fits-all type of cut. So these type of jackets are made to fit a variety of body shapes. Now, it may be easy to put it on, but once you put it on, it becomes very uncomfortable. It restricts your movement, and any slight movement will alter the construction of the jacket, which will further down the line damage the jacket. And having had experience with a suit jacket with a lower armhole, it was just a very uncomfortable feeling. I slightly moved my arms, you will see an unevenness on the shoulders, the lapels will bunch up, and like I said, it was just uncomfortable. So you want to go with a suit jacket, sport coat, blazer with a much higher armhole. This will give you more mobility with your hands. It may be cut closely to the body, but it will be a much more comfortable feeling. And having a suit jacket, sport coat, blazer with a higher armhole, it speaks to fine craftsmanship. And the last thing to be mindful of is just the alterations. You know, don't make my mistake that I did years ago of having every jacket that I had be altered to the point where it's cut very close to my body. My body is constantly changing, and I have since learned the importance of drape. So when you alter your jackets, you want to have a little bit of wiggle room there for not only the jacket to drape properly on you, but keep in mind that your body is always changing. If it's an alteration that they've brought in, make sure there's some fabric in there that they can let out, just in the event if you do change your body weight and you gain weight, or just your body just changes overall. Alright guys, when I created this YouTube channel, it was for me to put everything that I've learned on menswear out there, and quite frankly that I'm still learning, because it's a continuous journey on how to have clothes fit your physique as a fit man, and just saying things I don't see being spoken about in menswear that I feel are very important to all men, but definitely to us fit men, because it really affects us. Being a menswear YouTuber, Instagrammer is more than putting together a lookbook, doing a photo shoot to show you different styles. I mean, you guys are going to spend your money. Not only does it have to be worth it, it has to make sense. And just judging from past videos, I can tell you guys are very intelligent from the comments and the conversations that we have. And I hope this video can inspire more conversations. And I just want to create a community of intelligent fit men shoppers. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. I'll be back in the next video, and until then, stay fly, stay fit.